All right, we are here for the week 2 press conference with offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach Jake Spavital for Auburn week. We'll go ahead and get started with questions, and we'll start with Jake Ferrato from Cal Sports Report.
Jake, how you doing this morning?
Doing good. How you doing?
All right. Can you tell us what you saw in Auburn's pressure on the quarterback the other day against UMass? They had 4 sacks, 6 pressures, I think, quarterback hurries. How much of a challenge will that be for your offense and your line in particular?
Yeah, that's going to be a very tough challenge for us. I've been, fortunate enough to go up against Coach Ron Roberts a few times over the past couple of years, and he creates a lot of havoc up front. He knows how to isolate our protections. He knows he really can do that to everybody. He does a really good job on that. And one of the keys is we got to stay out of those passing downs. So it's like third down and longs, because that's when he's very dangerous in what he does. But I think they're a very talented front. I think they when they get they pin their ears back, they can go get the QB. Obviously, they had 4 sacks and a lot of QB hurries, and they were a lot more disruptive too on some other things, especially perimeter screen game and all that as well. They make it very difficult on the QB, so it's going to be a very tough challenge for our offensive line. And one of that is to be efficient with the play calls and try to stay out of those passing downs.
Did you feel like your run game set up your pass game pretty well last week?
It did. And going into the North Texas game, we knew that they're going to be a 3 high safety team. So you got to establish the run game. You have to. And it's going to be a different scheme this week. There's going to be more guys in the box, and they do a great job at stopping the run. So there's going to be some things that, and that's what Coach Roberts has done over the years. He's very sound in what he does, and everything is going to be contested. So, going into last week's game, we knew we had to establish a run, and that's got to be a definitely force of impact as well for us to force the run and get that established as well.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, next question. We'll go to Nathan King from 24/7 Sports.
Hey, Jake, you mentioned your time going against Coach Roberts. I think in 21, y'all had a really close game against them, that they had an incredible defense that year. What were some of the, pillars of success for you guys against his defense? And you mentioned it a little bit there with the running game, but I guess how important is it kind of to have balance with y'all's 2 running backs?
Yeah, it's kind of like what you're talking about. Like, he just does this such a great job. If he gets you behind the chains, it's very, very behind the chains and not playing on pace. It's very difficult to move the ball on him, when he has everything in his favor. And I think that's just like what he does is once he gets you behind the chains, he's very disruptive. He can get a little exotic. He can trap coverages. He does the simulated cover 2s. He's going to do his edge pressures. He'll bring corner fire, and he'll bring nickel pressures as well, and he'll keep you on your toes. So our QBs have to be locked in. I think he does a good job at taking away your RPOs. So we're going to have to establish the run game. So we've got to be creative in what we got up front and with our run game, because if you can't establish the run game on Coach Roberts, it's going to be very difficult to throw against him.
All right, we'll go to Michael Wagaman from Bear Insider.
Hey, Coach. Sam's status obviously still up in the air this week. Ben came in and did some really good things with you. I'm just curious, from a play calling standpoint, do things change much when you change quarterbacks, or are you just basically going, look, this is what we are, this is what we do, no matter who the quarterback is?
No, the play calling does change. One is, you do a lot of reps. I had a spring and a fall camp with Sam, and I've had a summer and a fall camp with Ben, and you just kind of figure out what they're capable of doing and what's their strengths, what their weaknesses, and if they have any dynamic ability. We know Sam can run the ball. He's very athletic, and so you can do a lot more different type of play calls with Sam. But we have our base foundation of what we do offensively. Those are always going to be a staple every single week, but it's also when you get into kind of the game plan type of plays, each one of those guys are going to be different, have a comfort level for different type of plays. So, there's a good amount of just doing the same thing for both of them, but there is some specialized plays for both those kids as well.
Thank you.
Next question will come from Matt Moreno from Rivals.
There's been talk about just the rules changes and how it's maybe impacted, plays that can be run, all that type of thing. What was your feeling on just kind of how the game flow went with the new rules in place?
Yeah, I didn't really notice it that much. I think we snapped it 95 times in this last game. So it was one, the defense did an unbelievable job and gave us, great field position and got us the ball back a lot. But it was more just about, like I thought that we'd probably be roughly around, I think, 7 to 10 plays less than what we normally do with the running clock after first down. We had 30 first downs in this game, and I still thought we snapped it a ton. So, I didn't really notice much of the rule changes, but I bet you this week coming into it versus Auburn, you're probably going to really recognize that, especially if both teams are going at it and really holding on to the ball and trying to milk the clock a little bit at times too. You're going to have to speed up your play calling.
All right, we'll go to Thomas Dunn from Rifle, California.
Good morning, Jake. So after moving the ball relatively effectively against North Texas, how much more, if at all, is this a benchmark test for you in the offense with the personnel and coaches you'll be facing on Saturday?
Yeah, this is a true test this weekend. I think Auburn is, from a personnel standpoint, I think they've got a lot of elite players. I know their coaching staff, and I got a ton of respect for them. And everything's going to be contested, everything's going to be earned, and it's going to be a physical, violent game. It is, and it's going to be a true test on who we are. I wasn't very pleased with our practice today. We got to have more energy because I know what type of, calling plays in the SEC for 3 years. I know what it entails. And these kids got to be on point and they got to bring it. And because if not, you'll get exposed. And this is going to be a great challenge for us. And this is going to be a good kind of measurement on who we are as an offense.
All right. Any other questions for Coach Spavital today? All right. Looks like that'll we'll go to Steve Kroner from the SF Chronicle.
Yeah, Jake, sorry if I got in a little late here.
Oh, good.
I appreciate it. You talk about, you're going against an SEC team and all the challenges that poses. If you're on the other side and you're going against the Cal offense that just put up 669 yards and 58 points, what do you think they're saying the challenges of going against the Bears are?
Yeah, I just know how they are as coaches. They're going to have those guys ready to go. There's not very many opportunities you have in college football. We've already had one down. We got 11 guaranteed more to go. So you're going to make the most of it. So they're going to do everything they got to get those guys ready, and they're going to be playing on point. That's we're expecting their best game. And that's just kind of a testament to who they are as coaches and just the personnel that they have. But when you look at us offensively, there are some similarities of teams that they play in that league. I do think that, the SEC, the trenches are the offensive line play. There's a lot bigger bodies, and a lot, more violent challenges, I guess you could say, in the trenches. But, overall, they see a good mix of everything in the SEC. So it's more about trying to figure out who they believe our best players are and who they want to try to bracket and eliminate out of the game. And they'll have their adjustments throughout the course of the game. So it's I think that they've seen it all. I think their offense is very similar to us too, so they go up against it a lot in practice. So you're going to see a lot of probably both teams doing a lot of creativity on just trying to cause confusion in these games because there's a lot of familiarity of both teams going up against each other just from their coordinator standpoints.